It's Friday, my friends, and we're taking it easy today, bringing you a conversation about music with Gregory Day and myself that we recorded just this past weekend. I figured, let's change it up on this Friday and tune everything out except the music. Gregory Day of Hipsville AD joining the show with us. How are you, my friend?
Oh boy, I'm doing well today.
Oh boy, you're doing well today. That's excellent, sir. Jolly gee willikers.
Yeah, I am very excited to be back here talking music with you.
I know, man. Me too. All right, why don't you lay out for the good folks at home how the trade-off works?
Yeah, every week we trade music here and we discuss how we feel about it or how it made us feel and just any thoughts that come to mind. And typically it's music that we've never heard that we share with one another. So it's always interesting to see how we fare with these tracks.
Excellent summation of what we got going on. All right, do you want to go first or you want to go second?
All right, yeah, I'll go first. Last time we did this, you gave me "Foggy Dreams" by Emily Farrell, a lo-fi track, you said. So I was excited to hear. I was decided to hear this track because it's so crucial to your show, and I think you have a great love for this music. So wanted to hear what it was all about. This track is nice and chill. It's the great kind of song to listen to on a drive, which I did, as I listen to a lot of music while I drive. So this is a great tune for that. It does kind of start off with this warm synthesizer music that remind me of like waking up in the morning, kind of starting your day. It's got some really cool audio samples to go along with the beats and stuff of like people. So a man comes in and says hello, as if the song's trying to get your attention, and then later on, there's this moment where this audio sample of this maybe a young woman talking about people saying she's crazy, and that they're she's not crazy because there are things out there that are much more beautiful, and to me that meant or maybe I interpreted it as that maybe lo-fi music isn't necessarily critically acclaimed or accepted by the mainstream, and there's a beauty in different types of art, and highbrow or lowbrow art, or high quality or low quality art, and so that's what I thought that was going for. And so, yeah, I'm interested to hear why you picked this song to share with me, because I was kind of taken. I'm not taking it back necessarily, but like kind of thrown off, because my perception of lo-fi music was that it would be much more like low quality or grainy. But this is very polished and has a good production value, as it's heavier on the synthesizers than I initially thought lo-fi music would be, or maybe at least in the way that the synthesizer is used here. So yeah, I wonder if you can elaborate a little bit on the song for me, and then maybe if the segment allows for you to elaborate on what lo-fi music means to you.
Sure. So I'll take I think so my answer about the song itself will kind of answer what lo-fi means to me also.
Mhm.
But to just kind of quickly answer your question about, or not question, but your observation about this particular lo-fi track. And so I get what you say, like lo-fi means low fidelity is in low quality. And while this one doesn't sound grainy like a lot of lo-fi music, like there's a million different types of lo-fi music. And like there is a portion of lo-fi music that is just really grainy kind of vinyl scratching sounds to it, or just
Mhm.
like old samples being used and therefore like they aren't mastered. Like, like you said, this has a high production value to it, but it's most certainly still not mastered in a studio, right?
Right, right.
Um, but at the same time, like she uses different beats and different loops and different samples and different lyrics and cuts them all in together herself and makes her own song. But it's not stuff that's all necessarily as like it's not something a studio would necessarily master. Like the music doesn't have to be in the same key. If the
Mhm.
synthesizers or the keyboards are in a B flat, the drums don't have to be in that same key, or the guitar could be in like a G or something like that. And normally you would want all your instruments in a similar key. But with lo-fi music, you don't necessarily have to do that. You just make something that you like, that sounds good to you, and you just throw it all together and mix it in there. And that's one of the big things I love about lo-fi music. So yeah, I would definitely say this particular type is more of like a polished not higher end lo-fi music, but just a polished type of lo-fi music in comparison to some other stuff out there. But there's like a wide variety of it, many different kinds of music.
Mhm.
We may actually talk about one a little bit later.
All right.
But as far as this song, and this will kind of lead into what lo-fi is for me. So I'll start by saying that the lo-fi artist Emily Farrell, you already named her, but she's US based, though I'm not quite sure where she's out of. She may not even make that public. A lot of lo-fi artists don't, as a matter of fact. They just publish their stuff online for the world, and like a lot of them use
Mhm.
pseudonyms. So if this is even her real name, I don't know.
Okay.
But she dropped this lo-fi mix entitled Cosmetic World in August of 2020. And so it's like a 24-minute mix. And this song, Foggy Dreams, is the first song on the mix. And my friend, when I found this on YouTube, it just hit me so hard. So I listened to like a lot of lo-fi music. I have for almost my entire university career, which you know me for a while. You know how long that's been. So I've been listening to lo-fi
Yes.
music, in coffee shops and in my study rooms for a very long time. But this was in the middle of COVID lockdown in 2020. I
Mm.
had just moved the month before this to a new city. The semester in classes has just gotten started. Lofi Poli Sci was just getting into season 2. I still didn't know what the hell I was doing with it. And it was the semester of me finishing my dissertation, getting my PhD. Like life, life for me was fucking crazy. And then Emily Farrell drops this lo-fi mix, and the whole thing, but this first song, Foggy Dreams, just really kicks it off perfect. And I mean, like you said, like kind of lifts your spirits, makes you feel alive. And it made me feel alive, like in a time of my life and so much solitude in my life. I spent so much time in just a room doing schoolwork and working on that dissertation and just, ugh, I don't want to think about it. But, you know, um, and there aren't many lyrics. And like you said, but the first one, which you already mentioned, it's like 30 seconds into the track and it's just kind of chill, happy, happy. And then you hear that voice, hello, hello. And dude, the first time I heard this, like I was in that room and I automatically answered back. I was like, is anyone there?
Mm.
And it's totally how I felt at that time in my life. And then the next lo-fi lyrics that she cuts into the track, which is, from a completely different song, or it's not even from a song, it could have been from a movie, who knows where it's from.
Mhm.
And you said part of it, it goes, they can't tell us we're crazy, or they can tell us we're crazy. And we can say, well, you haven't seen anything yet, because there
Mhm.
are things more beautiful. And like for you, you took it as like, lo-fi music is something different. It's something beautiful. And I can totally get that. And honestly, I had never thought about it like that, but it makes a lot of sense to me. But for me, those lyrics at that time in my life, it was just like they spoke to me and what I was trying to do at that moment and like grilling down my dissertation. And it seemed like no one cared. Like what I was writing about, what I was doing 250 pages later, like no one's ever going to have read it except for that committee. And it's
Mhm.
like, what am I doing? And this song, I mean, and Cosmetic World by Emily Farrell, it's still today one of my all-time favorite lo-fi tracks. And I've been listening to it almost 2 years now. Um,
Damn. That's I didn't realize it had such a personal connection to it. That's great. Yeah, I can see this. This is a great tune, man. It's just like you said, it's uplifting. It made me think of this anime short I'll have to send to you by Satoshi Kon. I think it's like the last thing he made before he died, about a woman waking up in the morning and kind of her different selves culminating into herself as she fully wakes up. It's like 6 minute short or something like that. But definitely has a great vibe of he says you talk about solitude, and it made me think of like maybe walking the city and just kind of being alone with your thoughts, and but in a good way, not in any negative way or a lonely way. Just you know having your me time.
yeah, definitely, man, definitely. And I'll say that's kind of what lo-fi music has always been for me. It's a way to listen to music and have alone time without actually necessarily having to pay attention to the music. Because a lot of
Hmm.
lo-fi music doesn't necessarily have lyrics. I mean, some of it, like this clip or like this track, it throws in some lyrics from different places here and there, but it's music that I can just go about and do whatever with and just chill. And it lets my mind wander without having to like concentrate on something. Whereas like a lot of other music with lyrics, the lyrics catch you and it kind of draws you into the music itself. And it's as if like So lo-fi music to me offers an alternative to music that takes you out of reality and draws you into what the artist is saying. On the flip side, for me, lo-fi music allows me to listen to music while being able to focus on something else that is in the world. Um, so I don't know. That's why I like lo-fi music a lot.
No, that's great, man.
But going to music that does have words, why don't we talk about your pick?
Yeah, yeah.
You want to
Would
go
you?
first, or you want me to jump off?
No, what you jumping off?
All right. So you sent me Tonight by LCD Sound System, and I'd never heard of this song nor this group. And so I'm gonna do what I've been doing. I like doing it this way. I'm gonna give you the words that came to me that I wrote down when listening to it. And so I was listening and I was like, electronic, retro, synthesizers, backup vocals, that beat and that bass guitar, damn. 80s vibe, talk singing, which is something that you don't necessarily hear all the time.
Hmm.
Beatniky, which isn't even a word, but it's like the adverb form of beatnik. Okay,
Hmm.
and then some cool keys, and I love the keyboard in it. It was really awesome, and it really reminds me of the 80s and 90s music, just dealing with the times of change going into the new millennium. And it really ramped up midway through, but then it chilled out. It was like a bridge to the rest of the song, and it was like a 5.5 minute song. It was a good listen.
Hmm.
And really, like, the ups and downs, it was like a drug induced roller coaster. Like, really, it made so much sense to me that the title was called Tonight by a band called LCD Sound System. I loved it, man. I did. um, and I like how it drew you in, and it really talked about what I found. If it may have been a bigger story, I don't know, but it made me think of multiple different stories, just about living life, about love, about friends. Like, it was so much wrapped in one that it really made me interested to hear what you had to say, because I didn't look up the band or the history of them, or the song or anything like that. So I don't have any ideas. So I'm really curious about what is this for you? Why'd you choose it?
Yeah, yeah. I absolutely love this band. They're one of my favorite modern bands. They have this retro style, obviously, where they take electronic music from the like late 70s and early 80s. Is very heavy influences from like David Bowie and Brian Eno and the Talking Heads, with that like layered musicianship going on. But there's something about their approach to electronic music, and pop music, really, with the lyrics, is they have a this dance club quality to them, but they're always singing about these sort of complex ideas, or complex emotions, or about life and things. And so I think what's particularly interesting about this song is that it does reference all these songs about tonight, and how tonight is the night. And there's so many pop songs and dance songs that are just about how important tonight is. And this song
And
turns
when
them.
did this come out?
This came out in, I believe, 2017,
Okay.
2018 maybe. Um, and it kind of turns that into an existential feeling of like, if tonight is the only thing that there is, then what is after this, what came before this. And it then kind of spins into talking about your life. And I mean, he has a whole thing about standing in the background till you got older, and um towards the end of that song. Or but he always, James Murphy, the leader of the band and the vocalist, always has a little bit of humor in there. And so there's this great thing where he's kind of talking about things, but then he kind of talks about getting older in the song, but then he like checks the things that he's saying, and that how he's picking up on things that he's heard his mother say, and then like how that's sort of, I'm sure we've all felt that. You say something that your parents would say, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm getting old, I'm sounding
Nope,
like my
never had
parents.
it happen to me. Never once.
um, so that's what I love about this band, is that they're funny, but they're also singing about things that most electronic music is not. Most electronic or dance music is really about the moment and having fun. And there's this juxtaposition of the fun of their music with the beats, and it's very danceable, but they're also singing about getting older. Or some of their other songs are about like their friends passing away, or the end of a scene, and like what happens when you're so involved with the scene that it falls apart or it drifts away from you, and how do you continue on from there, and stuff like that. So yeah, I love this band. I think they're really great. And I knew you hadn't heard of them, so I really wanted to share that with you. And this is from a record called The American Dream, or American Dream, that came out, and that was a huge record for me when it came out, because he said so many great points on or parts of the record that just got me through a lot of the bleak things going on in the world, and there was this just reassurance of this comforting electronic music. That's more for the listener as opposed, to the dancer. Um, so yeah, this is one of my favorite groups of recent memory, and I was happy to share it with you.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And I dig the fact that you're like, you know, sometimes you have to kind of search out that upbeaty live living music to help us all out through those rough patches in our lives. And dude, yeah, I dig this one for that. I really do. Liked it a lot. Is the whole album kind of like this, or is this more unique
No,
from
no,
other
yeah,
songs?
yeah, it's like this. There's some variations that they do go through, or some maybe are more guitar driven or slower, but they're mostly this kind of electronic music.
Yeah, I like it, and it's different from other like EDM that you hear because it is a little slow
Mhm.
pace and the talking, like I said, talk singing. I like it a lot. You don't always hear it that
Yeah.
often,
Mhm.
or at least I don't. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but good pick, man. Good pick. All right,
Thank
my
you.
friend. What are we listening to for next time?
Yeah, man. Next time I'm dropping on you the psychedelic funk sounds of the Budos band with their track Black Hills.
Kudos and Black Hills. Yeah, and definitely text me that for sure. But I'm a psychedelic funk. I dig that, man. I like to get
Mhm.
funky. They got French Quarter Fest coming up, Jazz Fest coming up. Yeah, I like the
Ooh,
funkness.
nice.
All right. And for you, I decided to go with something additionally lo-fi inspired, or rather inspires lo-fi, I should say. It pops up on lo-fi tracks all the time that I see, depending on like what genre you're going into. And don't tell
Hmm.
me you've heard it before because I know you probably have, but I don't care. I want you to hear it again. I
All
want
right,
to
all
talk
right.
about it.
Mhm.
But this is, in fact, it goes into like the anime lo-fi inspiration area, and it's the outro song of Cowboy Bebop. And I will definitely send you that too. Um,
All right. Is
because
that
I know we've talked
mhm,
about Cowboy Bebop before briefly,
mhm.
and a little bit about like the jazz and the music of it in lo-fi. And I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? After all these years, I still listen to this track, but it comes in different variations with lo-fi. But I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. I was it,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, send me this one, because is this the real folk blues, or is this a different outro track?
so I don't want to spoil it just yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I don't even want to talk about who the artist is yet. I want it to all be because we'll see. We'll get into it. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
All
Send
right.
send it to me. All right.
We'll do, we'll do. And all you lo-fi listeners out there, send in your thoughts. Let us know what you think about the music. Maybe we'll go ahead and read them on air. And Gregory Day, until next time, until the next trade-off, turn it up and play it loud.
Oh, hell yeah.
Back in a second, lo-fi listeners. Yes, indeed. Back in a second, lo-fi listeners. Until next time, turn it up and play it loud. Pickering, signing off.